Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I'm a math teacher from IYS schools. Hope you all good and safe at home. So today we continue our chapter number 12 or chapter number 12 demonstrative theory, demonstrative geometry and today we discuss theorem number 4 and 5. So chapter number 12 demonstrative geometry theorem 4 and 5 on page number 304 and 307. Okay, but before starting today's teaching, I'll give you some instructions. Hopefully you all understand and follow these instructions very carefully. So here are some instructions for you. Don't raise hand during teaching. Ask questions at the end of the teaching. Use hands-free if you are using mobile and headphones for computer use. Feed your ID and password properly with your name and class. Take care of time for attending the class. If there is any disconnectivity during the class or teaching, try to join again within 5 to 10 minutes. And don't turn off on your videos, turn off your videos during teaching. Hopefully you all understand. Now we first give the review that we already discussed theorem 1, 2 and 3 in our previous class. So first give the review of all these theorems and then we forward towards our today's lecture or teaching, that is theorem number 4 and 5. So first we discuss about what is theorems. So theorems, or the definition of theorem, is a general proposition, not self-defeating evidence, but proved by a chain of reasoning, a truth established by means of accepted truths. That is the definition of theorem. For proof that any theorem, we have different steps. That's 6 steps that we followed for prove any theorem. So here we have some steps. That's 6 steps. First one is general enunciation. Number 2, figure or a diagram. Number 3, given or data. 4, required or to prove. 5th, construction. And 6th one is proof. Here we have 6 different steps to prove any theorem. Now we forward toward our first theorem, that is theorem number 1. The statement of this theorem is, if two lines intersect, the vertically opposite angles so formed are congruent. Hopefully you all understand. Now we forward toward our diagram. Here we have a line segment, that is line segment A, and the line segment AB and the line segment PQ. Both the lines are intersect at point O, and now we have to prove that the vertical opposite angles of both the line segment, if two lines are intersect, then the vertical opposite angles means angle of AOP and angle of BOQ are congruent, and also we prove that angle of BOP and angle AOQ both are also congruent. So we have to prove that both the opposite angles are congruent. Now what's the given thing in our statement of the theorem? So we know that the given statement is, or the given thing, that is two lines, that line AB and PQ intersect at point O, and what we have to prove, we have to prove that angle of POB and is congruent to angle AOQ, and similarly angle AOP is congruent to angle BOQ. That's a proof, or that's a thing that we want to prove. And here we have just only two things, that line AB and line PQ both are intersect at point O. Now we forward toward our proof. Here we have a proof that statement. Here we have some statement, and regarding these statements we have some reasons. So major angle POB plus major angle AOP, that is equal to 180 degree. The reason is why the sum of both the angles is 180, because known common arms OA and OB of adjacent angles are collinear due to the supplement postulate that we already discussed in our previous class. What is the supplement postulate and how can you apply the supplement postulate on the sum of any two angles? Now the second one, or the point 2, is similar as point 1, that major angle AOP plus major angle AOQ is equal to 180 degree. Non-common arms of OP and OQ of adjacent angles are collinear because of the supplement postulate. Okay, now we forward toward our third point. If both the points or both the angle or the sum of both the angles is equal to 180 degree, then due to the transitive property of equality, we say that if two quantity are equal to the same quantity, that is equal to 180, then we add both of these quantities. That we say that major angle POB plus major angle AOP is equal to major angle AOP plus major angle AOQ. Now if we cancel the same term on the both side, major angle AOP cancel from both the side, then we have the conclusion that is major angle POB that is equal to major angle AOQ. Because of why we say that both the terms are equal, because we cancel the term that is major angle PAOP from both the side. So if measurement of both the angles are equal, then we say that angles are also equal or congruent. So or we say that angle of POB is congruent to angle AOQ, because if two angles are equal in measure, then we say that both the angles are congruent. Similarly, we can prove that with the same manners, we easily prove that angle of AOP is congruent to angle BOQ by the above proof. Hopefully you all understand, and you easily memorize all the things that we discuss in that theorem of proving the theorem. Now we forward toward our theorem number 2, that is theorem number 2. And theorem number 2 was the statement: if a sides of a triangle is extended, the exterior angle so formed is in measure greater than either of the two interior opposite angle. It means that the given thing that is give in the statement, if we have a triangle and if we have the triangle with the exterior angle that already formed, and we have to prove that the exterior angle is much greater than the interior opposite angle. So here we have a triangle, that is triangle ABC, and we extend this triangle towards the line segment E, or we that's the thing that already given in the theorem. For proving the theorem, we construct some points or construct some lines to make our proof, to make the theorem, to make that theorem proved. So we just cut the line segment AC from midpoint from the center, or cut equally into two parts from the starting point from B to so on. So here we have a line segment that is B to D, a line segment that cut the line segment AC at point O. So we say that the line segment BO is equal to the line segment OD, and we also say that the line segment AO is equal to the line segment OC because of the construction that we already done by ourselves. So that's why we say that both the line segments are equal. Here we have, so for further simplification, we just connect, or we just draw a line segment from C to D. So here we have a line segment C to D. That's the complete diagram due to the, or by the help of the given statement, or by some construction that we already, or we do by ourselves. So by using all these things, what's the thing that already given in our statements? Triangle ABC with exterior triangle ACE, that's the given thing. And what we have to prove that major angle ACE is greater than A, and we prove that major angle ACE is also greater than major angle B. Now what's the construction that we do for the proof? Let O be the midpoint of line segment AC, and draw BO and cut off OD, that is congruent to line segment BO. Then draw the line segment CD that we already discussed for explaining the diagram. So hopefully you all understand the thing that we write it on the construction point. So now we start our proof. Here we have proof by using some statement and reasons. So what's the statement? If we take a triangle, that is triangle AOB and the triangle COD, for proving that both the triangles are congruent, we first take some point to follow these point or prove by that point. So here we have a line segment that both the line segment are equal from both the triangles. So line segment AO is congruent to line segment CO because of the construction, because we cut the line segment AC by ourselves. So that's why both the line segment, or both the line cut by equal part into equal part. If both the line segment are equal, then for the vertical angles, we also say that from the theorem number 1, vertical opposite angle, we say that angle AOB is congruent to angle COD. Yes, students. So angle AOB is congruent to angle COD by the vertical opposite angles, or by the help of theorem number 1 that we already proved. That's the second thing, in which we firstly discuss the side and then we discuss about some angles. And the third point, that in which we also discuss about side of that triangle. So the side of the triangle or the line segment of BO is congruent to DO. That is also draw by ourselves, or we say that by the construction point, the line segment BO is congruent to line segment DO. So for proving the triangle AOB is equal to the triangle COD, we say that by using or with the help of these 3 points, the side angle side postulate, we say that both the triangles are congruent. If both the triangles are congruent, so for by the congruency of these triangles, we also say that major angle of A is equal to the major angle OCD. By the congruence of a triangle, we say that. So these things are cleared, but in our proof, or by the help of some diagram or by the help of the figure, we say that, or we already see that major angle of ACE is equal to the sum of two different angles, that is the major angle OCD plus major angle DCE, that is equal to major angle ACE by the angle addition postulate. So if the sum of all the part is equal to the angle ACE, if we minus any of these part from that side, then this side is less than this major angle ACE. So we also say that major angle ACE is greater than major angle OCD, because whole is greater than its parts. So if this term is greater than OCD, then we also know that major angle OCD is equal to major angle A by the congruence of a triangle. So we just put the value of OCD over here. Then we say that in point 6, major angle ACE is greater than major angle A. By which method or by which rule? We say we already proved that major angle A is equal to major angle OCD. That's why we put the value of major angle OCD in that equation or in this statement. So if this side is proved, then we also say that similarly by the same manners, we also prove that major angle ACE is greater than major angle B by the above proof. Now this proof is, now the theorem is proved, then we write it as QED. It means this theorem or this statement that we used to prove that theorem is proved. So we write it as QED. Hopefully you all understand theorem number 1 and theorem number 2. Now we forward toward our third theorem, that is theorem number 3. So here we have theorem number 3. If a transverse intersect two coplanar lines such that the pairs of alternate angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So here we have a transversal, that is a new term for you that we already discussed in our last class, that line, the line that intersect two parallel line is called the transversal line. So here we have, if a transversal line intersect two coplanar line such that the alternative angles are congruent, and prove that both the lines that intersect by the by transversal line, both the lines are congruent. So that we think that the thing that we have to prove. So firstly we draw a diagram by the help of the given statement. We have two lines, that is A, B, and the line segment CD that cut by the help of transversal. Here we have a transversal line, that is line EF, cut both the lines at the intersecting point P and Q. Here we have P and Q, and by the help of these two intersecting points, we have here we have some angles, that major angle 1 and major angle 2, and we have to prove that if both the lines is extended and they meet at any point R. So for solving this theorem, we assume or pick the diagram cut into two parts, that we assume that both the lines are not intersecting each other. So here we have, or here we draw another diagram. The line segment CD is cut by the another line or by the transversal EF, and if we extend the CD line towards D, and D is extended toward another line that meet at two intersecting point P and Q and make some angles, angle 1 and angle 2, then we have to prove that the major angle 1 is equal to major angle 2, that is already given in your theorem or in your statement. Then it means that both the lines must meet at any point R. That the thing that we assume. but in the proof we have to prove that both the lines are parallel, but we assume that both the lines are not parallel, they are intersecting at any point, that is we name that point R. Okay, that's the figure number 2. Now we discuss the figure number 2, or taking or to prove the theorem by the help of this figure, or assuming that both the lines are not parallel each other. So we have here first thing that we already given in our statement, that is AB line segment plus of AB line segment and CD are two coplanar lines, and transversal line segment EF cuts them at point P and Q respectively, such that major angle 1 is congruent to a major angle 2 pairs of alternative angles due to the pairs of alternative angle 1. And what we have to prove, that we have to prove that line segment AB is parallel to line segment CD. Now we start our proof for our assumption that we assume that if a line segment AB and CD are not parallel, then being coplanar, they will meet at point. We say that the name of that point is R, and a triangle, and by the help of these three, by the help of the line segment at the given point that we want to meet at a point both the lines, then we say that they make a triangle, that is triangle PQR, and that already see in our figure number 2. So what's the proof for this statement? Here some statement and the reasons for proving that thing. In triangle PQR, angle 1 is the exterior angle and angle 2 is the interior angle of interior opposite angles. By the definition of a triangle we say that. So by the help of theorem 2, if the triangle is formed and we have two different angles, that one angle is in the triangle and one angle is outside the triangle, then we say that the angle that is lie outside the triangle, it becomes the exterior, and the angle that is lie on the triangle or in the triangle, that is the interior angle. If we find a relation between both the triangles or both the angles, we say that both the relation between both the angles is inequality, in the form of inequality. So we say that, or by the help of theorem 2, we say that major angle 1 is greater than major angle 2, because major angle 1 is the exterior angle and major angle 2 is the interior angle. So by the theorem 2 we already proved that exterior angle is greater than the interior angle. So by the help of that statement we say that. But in the theorem or in the given statement we have that major angle 1 is equal or congruent to major angle 2. So at the same time both the statement are not correct, so we say that statement 2 and 3 cannot be true simultaneously by the trichotomy property of order. That in by the trichotomy property we say that at the same time any number that is equal to and that number, that is let's suppose we consider two terms, that is x is equal to y at the same time x, if x is equal to y for the same time x is not less than or greater than any number, so it means at a time we just only hold single relation between both the numbers or integers. That's why in both the statement 2 and 3 any one statement is true, hence major angle 1 is equal to major angle 2 is true, and AB and CD do not intersect. That's why we say that our assumption is wrong. It means we assume that both the line segment AB and CD is not parallel. That's the wrong thing. It means both the line segment are parallel. That's why the major angle 1 is equal to the major angle 2. Or we say that AB is parallel to CD because they are coplanar and they do not intersect at any point. So it means our assumption is wrong. That's why we say that both the lines are parallel, but we assume, or for the starting of the theorem we assume that both the lines are not parallel. So here we have a contradiction that both the lines are parallel. That's why we say that our assumption is wrong. It means the theorem is proved, so we write it as QED. Hopefully you all understand all the things that we already discussed in previous classes related to theorem number 1, theorem number 2 and theorem number 3. Now we forward toward our today's teaching, that is the theorem number 4 and theorem number 5. For review the all the things that we already discussed in previous class, is the basic reason is that we use, or with the help of all these things we proved our theorem 4 and theorem number 5. So theorem 4 is the converse of theorem number 3. That's why we discuss all these things. So now we start our today's teaching, that is theorem number 4 and theorem number 5. So here we have theorem number 4, that the converse of theorem number 3. First we memorize that what's the theorem number 3. Theorem number 3 is if a transversal intersect at any two coplanar, then the vertical opposite angles are congruent. It means both the lines are parallel. But in theorem number 4, or the converse of theorem number 3, is if a transversal lines intersect two parallel lines. It means here we give the conclusion that we give the statement in theorem number 3. So we have to prove that if a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then we prove that the opposite vertical angles are congruent. Now we have to prove, or we used again the thing that we already discussed in theorem number 3. Now I'm repeating again the definition, that is transversal. What is transversal? Transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines in a plane at different point is called a transversal. When a line transversal L intersect lines N and M, 8 angles of the following types are formed. Which types of angles? Number 1, exterior angle, interior angle, consecutive, interior angle, consecutive, exterior angle, alternate, exterior angle, alternate, interior angle, and corresponding angles. So here we have two line segment, that is N and M, and L is the transversal that cut both the parallel lines at two intersecting point and make some 8 different angles. Hopefully you all understand. Now we forward toward our given proof. So what's the given here? The diagram related to the theorem 4. With the help of theorem of 4, we construct a diagram or a figure, that is we have two line segment, that is line N and M, and the line N is the transversal of both the line that cut both the parallel lines, and for the construction we draw another line, that is line C, and the intersecting point of line segment L and M. By the help of transversal we have two intersecting point, that is A and B. So here we have 4 different angles, and we have to prove that the vertical opposite angles, means the angle 1 is equal to the angle 3 and angle 2 is equal to the angle 4. That's the thing that we want to prove. So what's the thing that is given already? Line L is parallel to line M, and line N is intersect them at point A and point B respectively, that we already discussed. And what the thing that we want to prove? We prove that major angle 1 is congruent to major angle 3 and major angle 2 is congruent to major angle 4. So hopefully you all understand. Here some mistake over here, and then you know easily that major angle 1 is congruent to major angle 3 and major angle 2 is congruent to major angle 4. Now what we think that we supposed to be proved, that suppose that here we again use the assumption that we assume that major angle 1 is not equal to major angle 3, but major angle 1 is congruent to major angle A, B and C, where B, C does not lie on the line M. These the thing that we assume, that if major angle 1 is not equal to major angle 3. Now we start a proof. Here we have a proof, that statement you see we have two parallel lines L and M. The N line is intersect both the lines at point A and B. Here we have another line segment C, and both the lines make an angle 1, 2, angle 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now what's the statement? The first one is, since major angle 1 is congruent to major angle A, B and C, by the supposition that we already suppose the thing. So we say that for this supposition, the major angle, we suppose that L is parallel to line BC. Major angle 1 and major angle ABC are congruent due to the theorem number 2, but line segment L is parallel to line segment H, that is already given in our statement. So by the peripheral axioms, if both of the two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line, that's the peripheral axioms that we used for that proof that we already discussed. Here we have again two different statements, that line L is parallel to line BC and line L is also parallel to line M. That's why we use that peripheral axioms that if both of two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. Here we have again a contradiction that line L is parallel to two intersecting M and BC, which is impossible. That's why, because by the peripheral axiom, in peripheral axiom we discussed that at the same time both two intersecting line is not parallel with the same line segment. So that's why the both the statement, any of the statement is correct and then one statement is wrong. It means L is parallel to just only M. So if L is parallel to M, it means our assumption is wrong again. It means major angle 1 is congruent to major angle 3. Our supposition is major angle 1 is equal to major angle ABC leads to be an abstract result. That's why we say that major angle 1 is congruent to major angle 3. Okay, similarly for that manner, similarly for the given statement or the reasons, we say that major angle 2 is congruent to major angle 4 by the above process. Here we have the diagram. I'm showing again that we have two line segment. Both the line segment are parallel to each other, that the L and M, and N is the transversal, and here C is another line, and we suppose that major angle line segment of L is parallel to line segment M. That's the given thing, but we assume that line segment L is parallel to line segment A, B and C, or line segment BC, and M is not lie, or line segment BC is not lie on M. That's the false thing. Here you see that B is the center or the intersecting point on M. That's why our assumption is wrong. So our assumption is wrong. It means M1 major angle 1 is congruent to major angle 3. So that the thing is already proved. That's why we write it as QED. Hopefully you all understand the theorem number 3 and also theorem number 4, both the converse of each other. So you easily understood both the things or both the theorems. Now we forward toward our theorem number 5. Here we have theorem number 5. What's the statement of theorem number 5? The sum of the measures of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Now we have to prove that the sum of the angle of a triangle is equal to 180 degree. So here we have a triangle, that is triangle ABC, and we extend this triangle towards D, and we make a line segment CE. Here we have, if we make a line segment CE and we prove that line segment or the angle of A, B and C both are, all of these three, the sum of all the angles is equal to 180 degrees. So here we have two angles, major angle 1 and major angle 2. With the help of this diagram or the statement, we prove that. Here we have the statement, what we have, triangle ABC. What we have to prove, major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to 180 degree. And what the construction that we do, produce line BC to D and draw C is parallel to AB. And here you see that what we have to prove or what we draw or construct, draw CE. Here we see, draw CE and make the line, that is AB is parallel to CE. That's the construction to prove the theorem. So now we forward toward our proof. Here we have a proof. What's the proof statement? The first one is AB is parallel to CE and AC is transversal. That we already think or we already discussed what is the transversal, because due to the construction we say that AB is parallel to CE and AC is transversal. So with the help of parallel lines or alternative angles of parallel lines, we say that major angle A is equal to major angle 1. That the thing we already discussed in our theorem number 3, that the parallel or the alternative angles of parallel line both are equal. It means major angle A is equal to major angle 1. For the same thing, if we discuss about the line segment AB is parallel to CE, it means the line segment BD is also transversal by the help of construction that we already do by the thing. So corresponding similarly by the help of alternative or the corresponding angles of parallel line, we say that major angle B is equal to major angle 2, and if both the angles are equal, so by the property or the addition property of equation, we say that Major angle A plus major angle B is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2. We just add equation or the statement 2 and 4. Then we say that by the help of addition property of equation, we say that major angle A plus major angle B is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2. Hopefully you all understand. Now we forward toward, here we have a diagram also, the triangle ABC and the line segment CD and the line segment CE, we have some angles. So we say that line segment AB is parallel to line segment CE and AC is the transversal by the construction. Similarly, so major angle A1 is major angle A is equal to major angle 1 by the help of alternative, yes, alternate angle of parallel lines. Similarly, AB is equal or parallel to line segment CE. So we say that BD is the, yes, BD is the transversal by the help of construction. So we say that major angle B is equal to major angle 2 correspondence angles of parallel lines. That's why we add the statement 2 and 4. Now, by the help of addition property of equation, we say that major angle A plus major angle B is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2. Now we forward further. Here we have our statement. Here we have a diagram again. You see that major angle statement, or the point 6 of that statement is adding major angle ACB to both the side for proving the thing that the sum of the triangle is equal to 180 degree. That's why we add something, that is major angle ACB on both the side of that statement, that major angle A plus major angle B is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2. Add major angle ACB both the side by the addition property of equation. Now the equation becomes major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle ACB is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2 plus major angle ACB. Why we add both of these terms? With the help of addition property of equation. So we know that major angle 1 plus major angle 2 is equal to major angle ACD. Now put the value of major angle 1 plus major angle 2 in the given equation. So, or we say that major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to major angle ACD plus major angle ACB. We just put the value of major angle ACB is equal to major angle C. So after putting the value, after putting both the values in the given statement, because major angle ACD and major angle ACB is equal to 180 degree due to the supplement postulate, the sum is equal to 180 degree, that we already do in our first theorem, theorem number 1. That's why we say that major angle ACD plus major angle ACB, okay, major angle ACB plus major angle ACD, the sum of both the angles is equal to 180 degree due to the supplement postulate. That's why we put the value, put 180 degree from 180 degree in the given equation. So the equation become major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to 180 degree. Okay, hopefully you all understand. I'm repeated again in the theorem. In theorem number 5, you have to prove that the sum of the triangle is equal to 180 degree, means major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to 180 degree. It means we just suppose or construct something or construct some lines to make the proof or to make this proof easy. So here we have AB, line segment AB is parallel to line segment CE. For that AC is transversal. So for which reason? By the help of construction. So we say that by the alternate angles of our parallel lines, we say that major angle A is equal to major angle 1. Similarly, for point 1, we say that AB is parallel to CE. For that, BD is also a transversal with the help of construction. For that, we say that corresponding angles of parallel lines, major angle B is equal to major angle 2. For that we just apply the addition property over here, addition property of equation. We just add statement 2 and 4. Then we say that measure angle A plus measure angle B is equal to measure angle 1 plus measure angle 2. Now for the further explanation, here we have a triangle ABC. Here we have a triangle ABC, and we construct some line segment again, that line segment D or the line segment C, and make some angles. So after adding the line major angle ACB to the both the side of that the given equation with the help of addition property of equation, we say that major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle ACB is equal to major angle 1 plus major angle 2 plus major angle ACB. Now we know that major angle 1 plus major angle 2 is equal to major angle ACD. Now put the value of major angle 1 plus major angle 2 is equal to major angle ACD. Now after putting that value, we have the given equation becomes, or we say that major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to major angle ACD plus major angle ACB. So with the help of supplement postulate, we know that major angle ACD plus major angle ACB, the sum of both the angles is equal to 180 degree. Now just put the value of that terms is equal to 180 degree. Then we say that major angle A plus major angle B plus major angle C is equal to 180 degree. Now we prove that thing, that the sum of the triangle is equal, the sum of the sides of the triangle is equal to 180 degree. Hopefully you all understand all the theorems, theorem number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now just practice all the theorems, learn and practice the theorem number 4 and 5, and also theorem number 1, 2 and 3 for your better understanding. Hopefully you all understand, and hopefully you all understand. Now just practice and learn for your better understanding. Thank you students. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.